Hey guys, Joe Rhino here, and today I'm going to go over my Game of Thrones collection. I have most of the figures that came out a few years back from Funko, they called it the Legacy series, and I have a small little haul of one of the new McFarlane figures that came out this year. So, enjoy. Alright, so I'm going to go over my Funko Legacy figures first. Half of them I have open, and half of them I still have in a package. I'm running out of room where to put some stuff, so I'm not going to open the other ones yet. I think what I'll do is, as I get rid of some of my Star Wars Black Series figures, like I mentioned in one of my past videos, I want to put up some shelves just for those. I think I'm going to also get a shelf for figures like these. They have them listed on the back of the packages, so I'm going to go over those because they're also numbered. And like I said, some of them are open, so I'm just going to go down the line and then I'll show the loose ones and then the packaged ones. So from Series 1, first I have Jon Snow. This was when he was a ranger for the Night's Watch. And I actually really like these figures. I know a lot of people, they were hit and miss. Like, I've had a couple problems with some of them. This is a perfect example. My sheath, it actually broke off his belt right here, but I just have him holding it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But the first series had a lot of QC issues with a lot of the straps breaking. They had really bad the elbows and wrist joints were really bad, and I think ankles too. People had a lot of problems with ankles breaking. I think Funko even did a thing where if you had a problem with some of your figures, you could send them back for replacements. I remember someone talking about that in the video. But that's my Jon Snow. And there was Tyrion. This was the regular release of Tyrion. He came out. He's number 2. He's number 2. Jon Snow was number 1. And they also released I think it was a Comic-Con exclusive. It was the same exact figure. I don't think there was anything different about the figure. He came with the axe, and he also had a Lannister helmet. I never got that one, but since it was the same figure. They also had a Walgreens exclusive Tyrion, and I really, really like this figure compared to the regular one. The armored one just, I don't know, it just didn't, I don't know if it's just the character or the way the armor's made. I just didn't really like the armor. It just looked too plain. So I opted to open this one. I never opened the armored one. And I believe the third one is the Hound, which is here. I haven't opened him yet. And he comes with his awesome Hound helmet. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Like I said, I will open these one day. I'm running out of room. The next one we have is the White Walker. And this is another one I had problems with. He has a staff and part of it is wood or metal or something. And then it has the ice, the dagger end. And it snapped right here. It was fine for a while, but you know, when I put him down for storage, or I don't know if he fell over or whatnot, and it snapped right there. Other than that, I didn't have any problems with him. And they also did, I believe, Barnes & Noble. I think that's what it was. They had an exclusive, or it was a convention exclusive, but then I think you could also get it at Barnes & Noble. And he's a glow-in-the-dark. And I haven't opened that one yet. And then after White Walker is Daenerys. And this is the Daenerys. This is when she first was married to like Khal Drogo. She comes with a little Drogon. And I think I remember originally, I remember there was pictures with her with different colored dragons. Like there were variants, but I think there was only one that was released. I never opened her because by the time I started getting these, you'll see in the second series, there was a series 2 came with a Daenerys also, and I think this was one that I heard a lot of people were having problems with. So I didn't open her. I opened the series 2 one. And then the last one was Ned Stark, and he's another one that I opened. And he comes with 2 swords, one in a sheath, and then I don't know if this is like a smaller version. And then here's, I think it's called Ice, a ginormous version of this sword. And I'm pretty sure it's the same exact sword. No, it is actually it's a different sword. Okay, so it just, I always thought it was the same sword, but it's obviously 2 different swords. You could see the pommel or whatever, the crossguard is different, but it's a pretty cool sword. I really like his oh, here's one QC issue. I don't know if you can see it. There's like some white either paint buildup or something. But overall, I mean, they're like Marvel Legends or Black Series articulation. They have double jointed knees. Most of them, I think, or all of them, have single jointed elbows. They even have the wrist joints. They have the, I don't know if it's I don't. I'm kind of afraid to move some of these, but they have ankle joints. What I did one night when I was opening them, I had I think at the time I had a heater set up, and I was like setting them on the heater so they could get nice and loose. Because like, I've heard so many horror stories on the joints breaking. Alright, that was all of Series 1. Series 2, I have most of them open, and I only have 2 in the package. The first one is Jaime Lannister. This one, I really love the armor, and my plan was to actually, I don't know if we could zoom in on just the detail. I think it was when Toys R Us was going out of business. They had like a stack of like 20 or 30 of these they were dirt cheap, and I was actually tempted to buy a whole bunch just to make some like unnamed guards, but I never did, and by the time I went back, they were sold out. But this one, I kick myself because I never picked her up, and then my buddy was looking for some figures, and I think I thought I had her, and then I told him about it, and they were on clearance at Barnes & Noble, and they were dirt cheap. And then when I looked through my figures, I noticed I didn't have them, and then he bought them, and I think he wanted to try to get different ones, so he bought them, and then he returned them, and he got a couple different figures at, I think it was Target, still carried them. But it was Brienne of Tarth. But then I finally ended up finding her. I don't know why it's so bright. But she's really nice and detailed too. It's like some of the armor and even like the skirt details, or I don't know what you technically call this. But my original plans, I wanted to get 2 of her. I wanted to get her head and put it on a Captain Phasma from the Star Wars Black Series line. But like I said, I ended up, like, if I could find a whole bunch of cheap or whatever. And then Khal Drogo, or no, Arya is the next one. And this one, she was actually one of my favorites for a while, because Arya is one of my favorites from the show. And she comes with Needle. Does she have a sheath? No, but I think I thought her belt was like you could stick, because I think that's how she held the figure. It might be a separate piece. I can't really tell though, but she's like in her early, probably like the first few seasons, how she looked after she escaped King's Landing. And then the next one is Khal Drogo. This is like, here's one that I got on clearance. I don't know if you could see it. It's $3.99. For $3.99 for a 6-inch figure, you can't pass up. But he comes with some knives and his sickle. I can't remember what they call them. But there was also so I guess if I open these, I'll probably put these two together. And then there's the newer Daenerys, and this is the one that I opened. She really, like I said, they really improved the QC problems that a lot of people were having. I really think if they would have gotten another chance, and if they would have had like another series come out, I think they would have knocked it out of the park. And then finally, the last figure is Robb Stark. This is one of the ones I got on clearance at Barnes & Noble. That's what the red sticker was, so sorry if you can't see the figure. But this was another one before the McFarlane figures were announced. I was actually, the Barnes & Noble, I saw this. Actually, I think I might have it. I think I got another one, and my plan was to get another Jon Snow and pop the head off. And so he had the Stark. Let's see how close that. Oh, okay, he's more armored, but that was one of my plans. But then McFarlane announced theirs, and they have him more armored up and stuff like that. So I'll eventually open this one day, like I said. And then, so those are my Legacy of, what are they called? Yeah, Legacy Collection from Funko. And yeah, they are from Funko. A lot of people didn't even know that they made these. They're really good figures. If you're gonna start collecting the McFarlane ones, I think McFarlane said that they're gonna bring out characters from current seasons and kind of like move backwards. And I really honestly don't know how many series they're gonna bring out because it's ending already. So if you get these figures and you know put them next to your McFarlane figures, I think they could go hand in hand. And that goes along with my recent pickup. I actually pre-ordered her on Amazon, and then I think the one episode, spoiler, if you haven't watched any of the season 8, The Long Night, I think it's called, where she had a really pivotal moment. I went back to check my pre-order, and it still showed up, but then the figure online, it was, instead of regular price, I think it was like, it went up to like $35. So I think, oh, and I kept getting an email saying, are you sure you want to keep this pre-order? If you don't want to keep it, you could cancel it or something like that. And I think, because it wasn't through Amazon, it was through like a third party. I think they're like trying to get people to cancel after the episode aired because they wanted to, well, they did, they bumped up the prices. But then I got an email right after that saying that she shipped. So a lot of people, they're unhappy with her face sculpt. I don't know if you can see it. I think it looks pretty good. People are saying she looks too like fat, but I think in person, I don't think it looks bad at all. But I saw a review, and I think it was the Foosh. He said that she was fully articulated underneath, but the bottom of her skirt piece or whatever kind of limited the articulation, so he actually cut the sides. So I think I might do that too, or I might do something similar to what like these guys have, how it's like that. Looks like it's separate pieces. But just to give you an idea of scale, this is an early Arya. So she's about like maybe like a half a head shorter. And here's her with Jon Snow. Like I said, I'll end up opening these eventually. Maybe when I open them, I'll make another video. One more. There's Brienne. Good view of how much taller. They're still in scale. So, like I said, if you were to collect the Legacy figures and also like complement them with the new McFarlane ones coming out, I don't see that being a problem. If they do eventually make like a Khal Drogo from McFarlane, then obviously you'd probably want to, if it's better, replace it. But that's my collection. Oh, I also have, I don't want to, I'll just pick up the camera and show you guys. I also have these. I don't know. They're not the greatest. They're also from McFarlane. But they have, they're like, well, I guess I show Tyrion. Like, I don't even think he has any face paint. I actually did a video on these for, I wanted to do some type of like minifigure videos. And I just wasn't happy. Like, I swear my fingertips are bleeding after building these. The Lannisters are really nice and detailed. I say I wasn't really happy with them, but then I saw, I think it was Tuesday morning, had the big set that they did with the throne with Joffrey, I think it is. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I kind of want to get that now, but then memories of building that, and like, I swear my fingertips were bleeding and they were sore the next day. So I was like, you know, maybe I'll get it and hold off, but I never ended up getting. So maybe I will one day. Maybe, you know, if I get some more Game of Thrones stuff, you know, like I said, and finally open these up and display them, then I can, you know, do another video just to showcase it. Or maybe when I finally get my toy room put together, I'll just do like a showcase the my toy room and all that. So that's my collection. Please like, subscribe, you know, comment. Tell me if you have the Legacy Funko Legacy figures, and if you use them with your collection, if you like them, if you don't like them, or whatnot. And then I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.